Hello, welcome back to the International Southeast Asia qualifiers for 2014. We're going to be watching Aero Gaming going up against MVP Phoenix, and I'm looking forward to this one as Aero seem to be on fire. They're 2-0.
Yep.
I think they're the favorites at this point to win the qualifiers. Scythe took a pretty unfortunate loss in the last round of first departure, which, you know, all through the last qualifiers we were talking about, you got to win those games that you're expected to win. If not, it gets pretty tough.
Yeah, I mean, we got to see Scythe play in their debut match, and it was our debut match tonight, and they had a dominating performance against Execration, but yeah, I was surprised to hear from you that they actually ended up forfeiting over a loss to a team that some might consider more of the mid-tier level, so I guess it could be anyone's game. It's a best of one. All these are best of one, so anything can happen. So some of these two teams, like Aero, like Scythe, that people expected to be able to come out on top, something can happen. Something can go wrong. They can end up putting themselves into a bad draft. They can be caught out of left field with something, and they can hand things over. And next thing you know, they're not even going to be a part of the playoffs. So
exactly,
we'll see how it goes. And yeah, for now, Aero Gaming looking to be on top, 2-0 now, trying to make it 3-0, but they have a bit of a test, I guess you could say. MVP Phoenix, who are, you know, obviously hand-in-hand with Zephyr as the Korean representatives for the C Dota scene right now.
Korean.
Yeah, well, even them, it's
America.
Well,
they're this is mostly
United
Korean
States.
team.
United States.
Beyond March,
Korea.
Beyond March, MVP Phoenix. They're
I
think entirely actually Korean.
Yeah.
But I'm looking forward to this one. Any
This is gonna
favorites?
Well, I know we haven't shown it yet, but I have a glimpse of this draft coming up, and I can tell you already who I think is going to be my favorite. And I don't know if you had heard, because I know you had went out for a bit, but the first pick Invoker, this is going to be a DDZ Invoker, and Fear had said himself that this was one of the most impressive Invokers he saw when he was casting it. So I'm very excited to finally be able to see it ourselves. And then also, MVP Phoenix, they grab up that Precious Naga for themselves, and then what most would consider a bit of an intriguing pickup, a second grab Jakiro. Now, for any other team, I would think this is interesting, Greg, but actually for MVP Phoenix, now, given this information I got was coming into the qualifier, their top pickup is Jakiro. 5 games, they're undefeated with him, or they were undefeated. I don't know if they played him earlier, but 5-0 with Jakiro. I don't think any other team really can have a stat like that.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive. And at this point, MVP Phoenix, they are 1-1. They did lose their last round. And, well, like we were saying, it's going to be a tough one here heading in. Yeah, I was out. I went a little bit of background information. I know we've got some people probably following the entire tournament here. I just went and head over to the Liquid Boot Camp, talked to those guys. They're in good spirits for their last game tomorrow. So always cool to get to go and hang out with them.
Unfortunately, that game was delayed.
Yeah.
And we couldn't conclude the NA scene, and now both teams are going to have to sweat it out overnight, try to get some rest, accept the fact of what kind of drafts they've been stuck with, and, you know, maybe see if they can game plan around it. I know NAR felt pretty confident, even with their Drow pickup there at the end, that they can make something happen, and I know that's going to be an exciting one to watch, but you know, for now, though, we're back into the C scene, and a lot of people are saying that the C scene is a little more evenly matched. You can see games kind of go to anyone, and I guess we've already seen that so far. And we get to see some good Dota, and we get to see some new pickups. And I already pointed out the Jakiro, but
Undying.
Undying, too. That's spicy.
I really like this hero since the new patch. I mean, the thing about Undying is he's not a great ganking support, which was sort of the identity of a lot of the supports in 6.80. However, in this new meta, anything can happen. And Undying is unbelievably strong during engagements.
Not a hero I really have personal hands-on experience with, but I've definitely seen him in the right hands just do copious amounts of work, especially as that support. And it had been a while, actually. This is going to be the first time tonight. Marana, my resplendent love. Fedora tipping ma'am. Marana going to be grabbed up here, and nothing of that typical synergy just yet, but they definitely have the options if they want to get the standard kind of Shadow Demon lineup or what have you. But very nice to see her back into the scene. And you can never count on MVP Phoenix. Mind you, Greg, they were one of the 2 teams that actually take a Rax off DK at Star Ladder. Just one Rax.
You're not wrong.
Just one.
Well, moving forward here, we have seen March on Marana before. I don't know if you remember this game or if you were even casting with me, but there was a Korean set of game. March was a roaming Marana, and I think he missed every single arrow.
Yes.
You remember that?
My God, we were giving him so much shit that game. I remember.
Oh, God. He missed like 8 arrows in a row or something. It was unbelievable. But
it became...
a comedy.
We feel bad. We feel bad laughing at him, but at that point, you just gotta laugh. I mean, it's just like you can't catch a break. You're just throwing them, and you're like, at this point, I'll just throw it randomly and hope something happens. So Hopefully that's not the case. Hopefully he's been going to the archery field or what have you, fucking working on it or something. But all right, for Arrow here, they're actually moving back, and I know I'd said this when I was casting Arrow with Mott. Arrow is more of a team-oriented kind of a team. That we saw it. They like to make decisions as a group. They're clumped together a lot, especially as the game approaches the mid. And you can tell that like Johnny's the one that's kind of making the calls and deciding on what they want to do. They don't want to like kind of give anything away. If they're going to commit to something, they're going to do it together. And with that, they like to play very defensive support. Last time they picked up the Dazzle and the Tree side by side, and now with the Undying and then their Chen. Their Chen has been their third top pickup. Only 3 games since 6.81, but they're 2-1 with them. But you can never count out a team that's pretty good with Chen.
Yeah, absolutely. And the pressure it can provide can be pretty backbreaking. And with having the Undying as well, Arrow are going to be very active in the early parts of the game. Push out a little space for this Invoker, be able to drop presumably some Sunstrikes. And we'll see how it works out for MVP Phoenix, as they've got a very pickoff-oriented lineup. They've got us Farmer, the Naga, then they've got Jakiro Marana, as well as the Disruptor. All pretty decent at walking around, ganking, and Naga Siren for MVP Phoenix. Any idea where we're going to see this?
I don't know. I personally can't think off the top of my head how they like to play. Some teams, they like to have that more mid-core kind of Naga. Some of them favorite more in the side lane. Based on the draft right now, I would assume maybe a mid lane Naga.
Yeah, I think I've seen them run it before as a safe lane, but I think this team has done a lot of role switching. They've really changed things around pretty repeatedly. I mean,
yeah.
I'm not sure what they've really settled on, to be honest. I don't remember what they settled on at Star Ladder. But I remember watching them in these group stages, and every game they had a completely different set of roles.
As I was doing a lot of this research, and I was talking about it when I was on the panel with the rest of the guys, you could say that pretty much about half of these teams. A lot of these teams really like to change things up. They could switch players around to different roles, and it could obviously make things a lot more difficult for us to predict how things are going to go. So theory crafting can always kind of, you want to make sure you take it with a grain of salt as far as where things are going to end up. So this Naga could end up being anywhere, but as this unfolds now, it's looking more like this Naga could potentially be a mid lane core Naga, and then run some sort of tri lane here with the Jakiro Marana Disruptor, and then throw the Elder Titan in the off lane. But we saw earlier today, I'm trying to think of one of the NA teams. Oh, it was NAR in the Liquid series. Brax tried to run the Elder Titan in the off lane on the Dire side, and a lot of people felt that was a big reason why they had such a hard time that game.
Yeah, absolutely, and this is certainly not an easy lane if they do send this Elder Titan to the off lane.
Yeah.
I think there's a chance this is going to be a mid lane Elder Titan, which I'm not a huge fan of, to be honest, but I think it's a possibility. It's hard to say, but
I have a feeling maybe if he grabs a ward, maybe he can go down there and he could see if the Chen's going to be coming his way. He'll have a good time.
I think it's going to be offlane though. Frev, pretty sure is the offlane player.
Yeah. And then Rubik going to be the last pick, and we didn't acknowledge it, and you can't see the bans anymore. But MVP Pink's actually banned out Necrophos as one of their bans, and I was like, what? And I wanted to say that it would be a respect ban, but I had done the research, Greg. I don't even know the last time they'd played that hero or anyone's played that hero, so I thought that was a bit intriguing. But regardless,
new meta.
Yeah, whatever. You never know with some of these teams nowadays. So we're gonna go ahead and head into the game.
Well, checking out MVP here, we do have Forev. He's going to be on the Elder Titan March. Right behind him, once again, going to be picking up the Marana. Kiwo is going to be on the Naga Siren, so it looks like it's going to be mid lane. He has mismatching blades, and that might be the most frustrating thing I've ever seen. And Heen going to be on the Disruptor. And all the way in the back, Ryson, I think it's Ryson, on the Jakiro.
Ryson. Isn't that like Breaking Bad or something?
Yes.
Okay, very, very nice. Over here for Arrow Gaming, all grouping together. Actually, I don't want to say too much because it looks like they might end up meeting each other. The little flower fuckers are just kind of dancing around in the meantime. Throws out the Astral to scout things out, and they will have to pull back. Oh, Chen's going to be a little cautious here, and they will step out. I mean, I'm not surprised by this. If they have some wards, they should probably consider throwing them down, preventing Chen from getting some early kind of free jungle creeps to work with here. But, man, this is like gangbusters right here. Just constantly back and forth, not making anything easy. And I'm not seeing any wards yet.
Oh, they put down one.
Yeah, they got one down right away. So, nice move for them, recognizing that they have the jungler. They don't want to make things too easy. But as introductions go, the looks like the Fungi Master leading things off. We got Lance playing your Nature's Prophet. Right next to him, we got Mozoon playing your Rubik. Shortly beside them, we got the Captain Johnny pretty much their prize player in the meantime. He's going to be playing your Chen over in the mid. No surprises. It is going to be the Invoker, played by DDZ. This guy, we got to keep an eye on this guy right here. And then meanwhile, in your off lane, once again, it's going to be Zhang Zai playing your Undying. So Undying off lane, not a support.
Yeah, this is not that unusual because you can get a lot of HP from that decay early on, and it makes it pretty easy to stick around in lane, but, well, DDZ is taking a lot of pressure in the mid lane. Naga as well as the Disruptor here, trying to push him back, and this is not a great matchup for the Invoker in the early levels. You don't really have the regen to deal with the Riptide spam coming out of QO, and he already has his bottle, 3 last hits. This should be a fairly good lane for him, but like you said, DDZ, the X factor on the Invoker.
Yeah.
If you hit a good Sunstrike, sometimes things happen, and it's hard to say.
Yeah, I'm not too sure if he'd ran. Most people, I guess the stat was like 75% in the patch. Invokers typically run Quas Exort. In the last execration for both games, had run with a more Quas Wex. They wanted to play more crowd control, rather. So I'm not too sure what DDZ's style is. I would imagine it's more Quas Exort if he's more aggressive, if that's how things have been going. And relatively nearby, Chen, he still finds a camp to work with here and looking to farm up and get something going. We'll see if he tries to make a gank happen here on the bottom lane eventually.
Yeah, he might also want to look towards this mid lane earlier.
Yeah.
But obviously this is a pretty hard gank just because of the movement speed for the Mirana, or for the Naga. And, well, we'll see how it works out. Bottom lane, this Elder Titan is doing quite well. Bit of a weird lane down here. Seems to be just doing fine. Yeah, there's not really any pressure here.
Same kind of goes for the top lane. Undying, not typically one of those off lane kind of heroes, so he's kind of just getting zoned out here. He's eating some liquid fires. The THD is just not making anything easy. It's allowing March to get some easy last hits in. He's right up there at the top along with that. Furion now at 11 and 7 CS, so looking pretty good, a pretty slow-paced, methodical, and look at this, Naga's going to grab up a DD rune here at the top, so immediately taking rune control in this game.
Yeah, DDZ is basically getting railed so far in this lane. Things have not gone well at all, but he's going to get a bit aggressive. Needs to be careful. Knows that there's probably no level in Ensnare, so as long as you can run away, you're mostly going to be fine. Ensnare is really not favored at these levels. You really just want to concentrate on hitting creeps, and
yeah.
DDZ does need to be careful here, though, since there is a double damage. A couple right clicks can easily kill him with the armor reduction from Riptide.
I did like the start.
Bottom lane, though. Farev, is he going to go down? Lifting up in the air, pulled back. They don't have a level in Sprout. Still might be enough. Going to be very close. And he lives. 11 HP.
Wow.
That's very good. And he's gotten a lot out of this lane. He's level 3. Doesn't quite have the soul ring yet, but he is doing quite well.
Yeah, good for him. Picks up those phase boots, and we'll have a little bit of extra damage to work with there. And I like what happened mid lane in the beginning of the game. Disruptor hung out briefly to allow the Naga to get the ball, but now made the full rotation up to the top to work with here, and is looking to make a pull happen and get the kind of creep equilibrium back in their favor, making things even more harder. Undying, still no CS to his name.
Yeah, that's not too unusual since he is only a melee hero. Does not have the spirit to help him out, but a lot of pressure on this bottom lane.
Oh, yeah.
Arrow immediately just forcing forward here. There's the glyph. Astral Spirit is going to come out. No levels in Stomp at this point, so they know exactly what they're going to be dealing with for at least a little bit. I'll be interested to see. I did see a 2-2-2 build the other day, which is certainly not conventional for the Elder Titan. Normally we just see 0-4-4, and, well, that could give him a little bit more aggressive game here to stop these pushes, but looks like for now he's just going to continue running the Astral Spirit through these heroes.
Very nice. A lot of assertive pressure. This is a very, very early tower, and that's it. They get it. Tier 1 tower down at about 4 minutes in, and inheriting all that extra gold early. It's going to be nice for DDX because he did have that, or DDZ rather, because he did have that bit of a hindrance at the start. He's looking to get himself right back into it, and I do have my answer right there. He's going to go for the Quas Exort kind of a build, so let's see the Sunstrikes, baby.
Yeah, I think this is a good move for him. The Wex build doesn't really help you that much against the Naga just because she's pretty quick. It's not that hard for her to walk away from the EMP in lane. And I think the Force Spirits give you a little bit of an edge in last hitting. So definitely pretty helpful for him. And, well, Zhang Ji getting pushed in on bottom.
Mid lane 2. Rubik got up a haste. He's making it go on Naga here. Gotta be careful with the couriers there as well. They're gonna make the lift and throw him all the way down to the bottom of the hill. Very nice telekinesis. Naga's gonna have nowhere to go, and Sushi's on the menu, boys. One more right click. Should be able to do it. Will he get it? He got it. Very, very nice. And finally, we do get that first blood for Mosin on the Rubik. Very convenient rune for him, acquiring that first blood, and now DDZ is gonna take control right back of this mid lane.
Yeah, and this is a really good thing for him. And Well, it's going to put him a full level ahead, which is pretty huge. As the Invoker, the levels are a key resource, and Lance, he's rotated over to this top lane to help out Zhang Ji and Jing Zai, is that right?
Zhang Zai.
Zhang Zai, okay. Gonna push in towards the top lane. I imagine they're gonna try to take down this top tower as well, just like they took down the bottom tower. Chen will probably group up. He has Arcanes now as well, so I think the name of the game here for Arrow is going to be early pressure, force some fights, perhaps at the tier 2, because this Naga is not going to be doing anything for quite a while, and she might be going for the drums build. This is something we haven't seen in a while. Arteezy used to do this build, and then he switched away from it, favoring going right for the Radiance. And, well, I think it gives you a little bit more power early, and that might be something that QO needs against the pressure that Arrow is dishing out.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think it's worth the gamble to kind of push it into the later game and allow this Naga to maybe get all the items she needs, the Radiance and what have you, and really begin to spread and build in all that extra farm. And well, we'll see if it's a risk they're willing to take here. DDZ is looking to commit a lot longer here. Now level 7. And, it's kind of catching out. Is this going to be what looks like an early Midas grab? There's the Cold Snap, a little bit extra damage from the Forged Spirits, man. Just very ruthless. That collar popped up so high. Just not making anything easy. And but he felt a little troubled. He wants to get that redemption.
Yeah, and he's going to be able to pretty aggressively now push QO out of the lane at least a little. And wow, he's only level 2. That is not good. I don't know where he's been. I think he's just been hanging around top, but he must not have been pulling very aggressively, and that's really bad. I mean, you need your Disruptor to be a higher level than this. He has no points in Kinetic Field at this point. That's a big issue, and it looks like they might try to gank DDZ here. QO moving forward, still does not have... Oh my god, is he just going to die? Goes down, Invoker able to get the kill, and then the top lane as well. Chen able to bring down March. And now Rayson, he is on the run. Do they have telekinesis? No, not yet. Ice Path, a good split. Down goes the Decay. Rayson falling. Lance comes in as well. Sprouts going to be available. And down they go. Double kill for Johnny. And Arrow's just cleaning up.
Yeah, beautiful work from Arrow. Like a nice choreographed dance, just being all over the place, getting action done at the mid. And even at the top, they had committed a lot of time with the smoke to kind of make a long rotation all the way and around into the top there. And they finally get it done and get a couple of more kills themselves, now pushing well ahead, 4-0, and look at all these creeps. Look at all these centaurs. My god.
That's a lot of centaurs.
The luck of this Chen is working very nicely for him, plus these Treants. This tier 1 tower might be under the gun a bit.
Stomp City here for Johnny, and they're going to be moving forward quite aggressively. Wow, Mosin is in a really aggressive position. He might get punched by the Elder Titan here. He's going to take a little bit of damage. Arrow's going to sail out. Is March going to land with it? No. He splits away from that one.
0-1. 0-1 for March. Nah, I'm just kidding.
And they're moving again towards the top tower. He drops the Starstorm, try to push back the creeps. Forev punching him down. The good news is Elder Titan is actually very good against these heavy creep push lineups because Astral Spirit gives you damage per creep it goes through. So obviously good against the Prophet.
Yeah.
And he's going to be punching quite hard.
Yep, very, very nice. It looks like Chen had made a send back happen. He put Undying all the way back into the base, and it looked like Furion made his move to the bottom lane, ate a bit of damage, and he will also make his return back where he once came. And for now, it looks like it's going to be a bit of a free lane here for Jakiro to work with and just build up some extra levels. And he's going with the 1-1-3 style build. He's going to go very push heavy with this Jakiro.
Yeah, and I think this is probably a good move. It'll let him split push a little. Oh my god, another kill on the Naga Siren.
From the base. Threw out the ultimate and got the quick pick off there. Very nice.
And that's the danger. I mean, just very easily to die quickly from this Cold Snap Invoker. He's got the 4-4, so 2 spirits for him. And for Rev, he's just going to take so much damage. They're just completely misjudging how much damage this Invoker can put out. MLS, if he gets caught here, if there's a Psychic, he doesn't have enough damage. Never mind. I was going to say a Psychic Sunstrike might be good here, but he is way too low on mana.
And Moonlight Shadow, just in the nick of time to save out the Elder Titan from the wrath of DDZ there, but it's very, very clear, Greg, that Arrow Gaming, man, they are on par with their communication. They're just making the right calls at the right times, and they're all just committing to it. There's no second guessing. I feel like it's just when they want to make something happen, and if it is Johnny who's the one to make the calls, they all just agree and they make the go. And it's like, if we're going to go down, if this is going to be a bad call, we might as well just do it all together. And for the most part, it works out for the better.
Yeah, and Johnny going to be... Oh, he finds QO. He was smoked up, but QO sitting at the bottom rune. Spots that out immediately, dispels it. DDZ with the creeps here. looking to push in on this tower, but they're going to have to be a bit careful. He's getting glimpsed back. There is no levels in ensnare too, and he makes it out of the kinetic field. They pop the song. They don't have stomp. They do have an arrow. Is March going to land this one?
Nice.
Perfect job. That's going to be most likely the end of DDZ. There is a Hand of God down. He goes finally, but in come the rest of Arrow. They don't want to give this away for free. Lance is here, and then DDZ with the spirits gets a double kill. Elder Titan try to get some damage control here. He's got a lot of damage coming in on this Astral Spirit. And he has, oh my god, over 300, and he's just going to chunk through this Undying. But Undying manning up and triple kill for the dead Invoker.
Are you kidding me?
Johnny going down to QO, but man.
My legacy lives on even after I die. The Forge Spirits, MVPs of that one, grabbing up a couple of free kills there for the Invoker, so it makes it well worth his while, and quickly grabs up the Staff of Wizardry. And you know, this could be anything from a 4-staff to an early Necro book, all depending on his preferred Invoker style, but I mean, I guess Fear wasn't kidding, man. He's doing a serious work with this Invoker, and pretty much the whole team just coming together and getting it done. Nature's Prophet committing the mid lane and putting out a lot of damage. It looked like a very promising start out of that fight with MVP and catching him out, but quickly, as you saw, just falling all apart.
Yeah, and I think, honestly, a lot of it comes down to MVP just underestimating the damage coming out of these spirits with Cold Snap, and Forev took a ton there. He did make it out. He's building towards a mech now, and he has 41 last hits from that off lane, so correctly they realized that there wouldn't really be a lot of pressure in that bottom lane, and he was able to get a lot of farm, much more than the Undying, who was sitting at only 22 CS, also building towards a mech, but Undying has that maxed out Tombstone, 400 health, Deathless threshold, and that's the new change. Those zombies go insane very quickly.
I really like the game plan that Arrow have here, and you had called it out when you got a Naga on the other team. You want to be able to get a lot done right away. They already taken down 2 tier 1s, and there's a lot congregated here in the mid. It looked like they might have been thinking about finishing off this last tier 1 tower in the mid lane, and you know, with that down, it could also make it easier and get sneak in a Roche or what have you. You know, they can definitely do it with the help of all these additional creeps, with Chen, with the Forge Spirits, with the freaking trees. You know, they have plenty of pushing power to work with, and they can easily shuffle that over into the Roche pit.
And moving forward here, it looks like they're still interested in taking on this tower, and at this point I'm not sure there's going to be anything they can do about it. March shot out the arrow, hit a creep. Nice little block there by Johnny. Spirit moving forward, Glyph is used. They are going to get this. Shockwave goes out. And Ice Path as well. DDX taking a lot of damage. Ulti from Prophet QO gets Deafening Blast, does not have Song. Down goes March, hits the arrow on DDZ on the way out. Arrow stolen by the Rubik, goes through, hits Race, and he's just going to get right-clicked down, Undying, decaying that, getting the kill, knocking down the tower as Arrow, and man, they have drafted a really, really strong team pre-20 minutes.
They have a strong team, they have a strong game plan, and it's working in their favor very nicely.
Well, QO, he's going for an aggressive move here. He's got to be careful. Hand of God is available. Oh, burst it down, does not even get it off. DDZ now at risk, but look at Lance right-clicking down with DDZ, and now Jingzai moving over as well, and man, Arrow's just not stopping. Look at this Undying, is so manly. It looks like he's low, still 400 HP, but gets blown up by the Mirana. Deafening Blast moves through, March up in the air. He's going to go down. Glint on Lance does nothing. Static Storm down as well with no kinetic field backup. Now he's going to have to run away. The Shakiro really low. Lance right-clicking away. I hear a Sunstrike, and he nails a Disruptor on the way out. Ryson, he's trying to run away. The Astral Spirit trying to clear the way. The zombie is just running him down, though. Those things are
a pain in the ass.
Those things are brutal.
Yeah, very, very rough. And it looks like any opportunity that MVP are going to get something going for themselves and get a quick pick off, they have to hand over something that just is not worth it. They lose the Naga trying to go for the support, and then they lose the Mirana just taking out the offlaner. These exchanges are just not in favor of MVP, and Arrow are always just coming out on top, now pushing ahead 13-5. I'm going to briefly change over to the net worth finally for myself, and as you can see, yeah, Invoker, no surprise, well up there at the top.
Look at this.
8.5k, unbelievable.
He has a Necro 2.
There it is.
Necro 2, 79 CS, 7 kills. DDZ, even from death, giving a lot to Arrow here in this team. And Moonlight Shadow used, but I'm not really sure what it was for, to be honest.
But Nature's Prophet, his book's almost complete as well. This is just ugly.
Book gaming, man.
Naga's going to have nowhere to farm. They're going to push so far into the base, it's going to suffocate MVP. It's not going to allow them to go anywhere. They're going to be constantly having their backs up against the wall, constantly on the defense. And it continues. Yeah, look, here goes the smoke. They're making a run. Can they get to telekinesis? They're going to pull out the book. They get it on the Elder Titan, pull him right back. Now looking to fish him off quickly, rip apart the Disruptor like it's nothing. Trap up. Can a Desperate TV come out? Nope, will not matter. Quickly. 2 down, pushing forward. Look at the onslaught of this army. Looking to push push forward, even the drop down the tombstone and everything. This is going to be an easy tier 2 taken down, and Greg, this one might end very quickly.
Yeah, and it looks like MVP are trying to get something else going for them in this bottom lane, push down this tower with the help of the liquid fire, but they're just losing so much, and I really like the idea that MVP had, but Rayson just gets blown up, and this MVP team is just not ready for the aggression that Arrow's bringing out. They're pushing Rax in the mid lane.
Yeah, this is going to be very, very quick. And
Song initiation. This could be what they're looking for. Here comes both the Static Storm and the Kinetic Field. All of Arrow are stuck inside QO, trying to get something done. It runs out. They walk away. In comes the ultimate, and just nothing happens. The mass heal from Chen, and Invoker just got another kill. Down goes the Naga, Undying, taking him down, but that was just another kill over here.
See,
the Sunstrike snipes.
It doesn't matter at this point. They had already acquired so many towers and so much money that their Chen has a mech. He has the ult. So even though he had a great opportunity to set something up, after everything was said and done and the Static Storm's over, one mech, one ult, everyone's back to square one once again. They have full life, and it was all for nothing.
Yeah, and honestly, Arrow just outclassing MVP in this game so far, and I think they're going to continue to do so. The supports just have nothing. I really do like MVP's. I like their draft, though, I have to say. They have a very good idea of how they're going to get things done, how they're going to create space. The Naga, unfortunately, died to the Invoker. The Elder Titan had a really great performance and has the mechanism online. It's a really great game for the Elder Titan, but unfortunately, the execution just wasn't quite there for MVP.
And nothing to scoff at, man. This Malaysian team just putting in some serious work, looking to try to move on tonight. 3-0, the only undefeated team I would imagine so far. I mean, Greg obviously looking to work into that, but I wouldn't guess it at all. And they were already favored as one of the top 2 in this qualifier, and they're just doing some serious work. They have never missed a beat on any objective they're looking to go for, and it's just been nothing but top-class play from them.
Yeah, and Mirana building the drum just has not really found any sort of space, and just the way that Arrow drafted this lineup is just so much early aggression. And the counter push just wasn't really there for MVP. I mean, they needed more time to get Mirana online. They needed more time to get QO to have anything. I mean, at this point, he just really has nothing. And he even went for the much less greedy build, picking up these drums. And it's just too much aggression, to be honest.
Yeah, they're not going to be able to find the opportunity they want for this Naga to be able to get to that point where she kind of take it back. I mean, I just feel like Arrow Gaming are going to have too much, and as if it wasn't hard enough, they now buy a gem. They throw their gem down, they can quickly take out any sort of wards that MVP have out, even if it's defensively, and next thing you know, they're not going to have anywhere. There's going to be nowhere safe to go. Nowhere is safe with Arrow Gaming.
Yeah, and they're looking to clean down, take down, excuse me, this last tier 2, and I don't think there's anything MVP can do about this. Really, this is their line now. They can't leave the base.
They should just hand over. I don't know.
They can't. I mean, they might try to do something here, but look at the net worth. How do you fight that?
You can't. You can't.
Your Mirana is being outfarmed by a Chen.
Mid lane, when we saw him set it up with the song, the Static Storm, and everything, I mean, given hopefully this time around you can have everyone there, maybe a macro pyre or something, but if you can't get it done after that, you might as well just kind of throw in the towel. But it's going to be hard. With this mech and all this heal coming out from the Chen, it's a tough thing to have. Yeah, the stomp slows them down in the meantime, but look at this fucking army they got here, Greg. Pardon my French, but it's just absolutely absurd. They pop the pipe, macro pyre, I scoff at that. Freeze, just in the meantime, they're looking to push forward. They even have the extra crit, extra damage coming out from the creep of Chen, and I don't know.
The sleep just not lasting long enough there. The ultimate not leveled up enough. Lance, he's going to get blown up, though, by this Elder Titan who does... Oh, what a deafening blast. DDZ is just putting on a clinic. The one hope for MVP is the right click of that Elder Titan, and, well, that just gets shut down immediately by that deafening blast. Now MVP are just in the base. The zombies are pushing them back. Oh, the Sunstrike!
Jesus
DDZ! Christ. What a player.
Ice, step aside, man. DDZ. He's got an Invoker that's willing to contest with the title of one of the king of the Invokers around. He's just doing some serious work, and there we go. Take down the tier 3, looking to push forward. This is going to be an easy set of racks, and MVP, they got to feel very, very down now. Coming off another, what looks like potential loss. Hopefully they can shake things off and try to get it back right now for the representation of Korea, if you will, but it's not looking good.
Oh, QO getting nuked down by Chen. This is when you know you have a problem. The macro pyre coming through, the arrow on Jingzai, and he is still alive. And in goes DDZ. Another kill for him. And DDZ is just putting this team on his back with them, pushing behind him, and this is just, there's the GG.
Yeah.
19 minutes, DDZ. Man, Fear was right. This was an unbelievable performance. And you might say this is MVP Phoenix, but he destroyed that game. He has 15,000 net worth to the Nagas 5.
I mean, if you look at the net worth top, it's the 4 of them. The top 4 all belong to Arrow. Even the supports, even Chen, getting so much going for him. Just absolutely ridiculous. And I guess Scythe better look out, man. I'm beginning to look forward to an Arrow Scythe matchup now in these qualifiers.
Arrow is looking really good.
Wow.
And they honestly made that game look way too easy. MVP, I think, have gotten a little bit better. You know, they participated in the Star Ladder, but Arrow just made them look sad.
Unbelievable stuff. So we'll see how things progress and move on. I know we have another game to step into. If you don't forgive my reach right here, Gregory, I'm going to go ahead and look at the next match we got. It looks like it will be Arrow again. We get to be treated to another sweet Arrow match.
Going up against First Departure.
First Departure was the team to take out a game from Scythe.
Yes.
So this actually might be a better matchup than you might think.
Yeah, so that's going to be coming up here in...
Might be a bit because
it's going to be a while. That was a quick one. Oh, it looks like... Is it actually...
Well, we were delayed.
Okay, we were delayed. So in theory, it's supposed to start in 10 minutes. But that game started very late, and they might continue to start late. Yeah. So not 100% sure what time this next game is going to start, but scheduled to start in 10 minutes. Obviously, we can't start until the other games are done. And it looks like First Departure is playing... They are playing someone right now. They're playing Execration. So we're going to have to wait for that game to conclude. Yeah. And then we'll be back here for the 4th game of the night. Is that right? 4th game of the night.
Yep, 4th game of the night.
Yeah. So you guys are watching High Ground TV. I am What Is Hip. With me is Colo Guy, and you can follow us, right? Fuck, you're way better at that than I am. Here we go. Right here.
Not even your fancy glasses can see where the hell you're supposed to point, Greg. Right there.
And you guys also can follow this channel. We appreciate you guys tuning in here on High Ground TV, and well, we'll see you in a bit.
Throw to some GMs.